Welcome to another edition of Friedman Adventures here at beautiful 20, and it is beautiful tonight. Beautiful 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. I'm here with my good friend Mike Morrison. Mike, the manager of 22nd Street. How are you, my friend?
I can't complain. We live for days like today. Great weather, good fishing, and we need more of this.
Mike, we're back fishing again. The guys were so excited today. I went down and walked around the docks because I don't have anything else to do with my time. And I don't know who was more excited, the passengers who finally got to get out and catch some great eating fish, or the crew guys who finally got to get back to work. Although, I talked to Gary on board. He worked on the Native Sun today. Incidentally, had great vision. And Gary goes, man, I got to get used to this deckhand stuff again.
Yeah, fried.
He was tired.
It's a grind that most people say. We touched on this before in previous episodes of this. You gotta want it. You gotta want to be here. And if you get caught slipping like Gary, not working out or coming down here doing things, you get tired real fast. But he'll get in the groove of things. So.
Absolutely. Hey, let me thank a few sponsors, and then right you ahead. And I are going to get into it. Alex, the intern, is here tonight.
Alex, good to see you.
Alex is going to be reading questions. So if you have a question for Mike or for myself or for anybody, please send them in. We'll be happy to answer them. Of course, we're going to go through the forecast, what Mike thinks might be happening this year. I think we might have a visitor. Sean Roberts is maybe going to come in. We're not sure, but he's coming back on the Pride from San Nicolas Island.
He has cell phone service, and he said he'll be here probably before this thing's over. But we'll wait for him.
Yeah.
Drag our feet.
Why not, man? We'll just go. All right. 22nd Street Landing. We start right there and say thank you to them. They are awesome. We love working here. Mike Morrison actually made this whole podcast a reality. He walked up to me one day, took me into this vacant room and said, how would you like this to be your studio? And I said, Mike, let's do it. So I owe a lot to Mike. Dawa, you can see him back behind me there, the official rod and reel of Friedman Adventures. We love Dawa products. I fish them on the beach just about every single day. Good stuff. Opsin fluorocarbon. If you want to get more bites, go with Opsin. They will make your fishing dreams come true. www.opsinusa.com and put FAN when you check out, and you'll get a nice note from Greg Brown, the owner. Also, Fish Taco Chronicles Magazine. You can get it right here at 22nd Street, right?
Shows up every month except for last month.
Oh, I know. Sean thought you took him and threw him in the trash or something.
No, I admit it. Saw him at the show. I was like,
that was me, actually.
Showing up like clockwork every month.
That's good.
Comes in a little box. You're like, I don't want to open this thing. You do. He's like, oh, cool. Fish taco every month.
Perfect. And also we want to mention the Malahini down there at H&M Landing. We'll be fishing a lot with Bill Wilkerson this summer.
Bill's cool.
And Ventura Sport Fishing. Your buddy up there at Ventura. You love Ventura Sport Fishing, right? Is that where you caught that sea bass or
Tucker
not?
McCombs?
Tucker McCombs. Actually, it's Brittany, isn't it?
I like Brittany and Cody.
Yeah. Oh, you're not too fond of Tucker anymore?
He's kind of ginger and we don't get along.
Oh,
he's not
my
quite
God.
Ginger. He's a day walker, so there can only be one. So.
Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474, VenturaSportFishing.com. Talk to Cody Rogers and you can see his report. He was out on the Island Spirit today. He called in a beautiful video report, kind of stuff that we are getting more into here at Friedman Adventures. We'll be doing a lot with Mike on that and the boats here. So, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe. You'll make Mike so happy if you do that. And of course, we've got charters and Patreon. We'll have 2 spins tonight because we got to catch up because I was so screwed up last week. Mike,
we did it though.
You are the man who made this whole thing come together because I came back from China and I was kind of a lost soul. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll do a podcast. And we were building like a small studio in Steve's garage at that point. And then you offered this up, and it's worked out beautifully for us.
Kicking my ass, myself in the ass every day since.
You can't get rid of me, huh?
You guys. No, it's a great idea because this is something that is not done. There's other people doing podcasts. There's other people doing TV shows and whatnot. But this is current events, and especially now that you guys went to live rather than recorded ones. It's not as much workload and dragging people down here. The other people just show up for this thing, so this works out. Live,
exactly.
Bam, bam. And your kids don't record over it.
Oh, my God. There's still a few people I haven't told yet. There's a couple of you out there, and you're wondering why I haven't run your episodes, and I'm going to get in touch with you finally. My kids came down and taped over like 3 of our shows, and I I didn't have the heart to tell the people that came, and so I got to get them down here for a show. And Alex, if there's any questions that come in, I hope you're monitoring that. You'll let us know. You can ask Mike a question or anything else. So, Mike, here we go. The season has started. What's the schedule here at 22nd Street, first of all? What kind of opportunities
First
await
of all,
anglers?
for most people that don't know, is we fish all year long unless we are taking boats offline and putting new engines in and are doing all kinds of things like that. So we're always have a half-day option available. But as you know, we're gifted this March 1st rockfish opener because we can't keep rockfish during January and February. The bass fishing has been really good, even better on twilights. We have twilights up.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's been pretty good, right?
The water temperature cooled off for the bass bite, but we're picking away. There's a lot of bass caught, not a lot of bass kept.
Yeah.
You're going to see a kind of a variety pack of things on all the boats. I'm speaking on behalf of all the day boats of calico bass, rockfish, sand bass, sheephead, whitefish. You name it. You're going to be able to get the whole variety pack. Bag limits kind of changed on the reds and whatnot, but we're going to make do with what we have to do and spend more time fishing other things. Because like today, Aaron had limits for 20 people, and he leaves the dock at 7. He was calling a report by 8:15. So
You mean he was really getting them?
Yeah, getting them this morning.
Yeah, I talked to the guys on the Native Son, and they both told me great fishing today.
It was a great day.
Really good.
Gus, I was just down there while he was taking his own fish home.
He's on the Pursuit.
Yeah, on the Pursuit. They had an equally great fishing. Mark's Saxman, that one of our regular customers here, just smile from ear to ear. Just
Really?
absolutely stoked to be back. But he comes out from time to time. But you can always catch a boat with good weather here pretty much every day except for Thanksgiving and Christmas here. So right now, things we have to offer are, we have an overnight option. Sean's running in place of the Freedom right now. They should be back probably about 8 days or something like that.
They're in the
Just
yard
wrapping up
still?
things, and then the weather's off this weekend, so they wouldn't have made their trip anyways. So we have an overnight option, leaving between 8 and 9 o'clock pretty much every night of the week. You can catch the Pursuit every day. Nothing changes. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And they go to Catalina.
Catalina Island,
Yeah.
or sometimes they sneak off and go to Santa Barbara Island, but you'll never know. There's never a destination that's planned, but they do it pretty good over there. Then you have right now the 7 o'clock with the Native Son with Aaron, and he's super aggressive. His plan this year is to pretty much fish local unless there's a real reason to go to Catalina Island. It gives you a lot more fishing time, less travel time. That's the trade-off for going on the Pursuit. But the Pursuit has bunks, so it's worth the boat ride over there. Get in the bunks, wake up, fishing, go home, take a nap. He's going to plan on fishing a variety of things. Today he stuck to the rockfish, and then you can see he had some sheephead and sargo and things like that in his fish count. So spending time gives you some options to fish the Palos Verdes Peninsula and targeting everything. You can catch pretty much everything in the world at that Point Furman, pretty much. Stuff, random things, are caught there. Sea bass, yellowtail. We've had tuna, random things. Being able to fish Big Reef, Rocky Point, and inside the bay as far as the Huntington Flats and things like that. Then we have the Monte Carlo running 10 to 4, 7 days a week, probably until first or second week of April or whatever the first holiday is. We'll switch it up to double half day. Normally we'll have double half day on the weekends, but it's just easier to get them all on one trip. And then twilights, Fridays and Saturdays for now. We're looking to expand into more days. There just wasn't that much of a draw for it because the weather was kind of iffy in the afternoons. Yeah. So, and then Freedom will be back. Amiga will be back. The boat's gutted. It's going to be absolutely stunning when it's done.
It's going to be. I can't wait to fish on there this year.
They are hammering that thing out.
They've been working on that for months, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's needed. They put a big hole. I mean, the thing was floating. They put a big hole from top to bottom. Got the engines in just recently. And Marky and Jeff been over there beating it up pretty good today, especially. They're trying to get that thing together so they can get Dean to do all the wiring on it. John Watanabe on the True Line. He said he should be ready first week of April. And that we're talking charter boats now. These are private charters.
So explain to people that are listening out there.
Yeah.
They're used to coming down, they buy a ticket, and they jump on the Pursuit, or they jump on the Freedom. A charter. I mean, we all know what that means, but there might be somebody out there who's not exactly sure how they go about doing that.
So, talking in past events, not current situation, but private charter. you have a club, a group, a family event, a birthday, whatever it is, you rent the whole boat out for you and your guests, people that you want to fish with, so you don't want to go out with people you don't know. All the boats are available for private charter. Every single boat. Stop looking at the camera, Mike.
No, you can look at the camera. I look over there once. I think making eye contact with our audience is very important, especially on the verge of nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
You know, that's why fishing is so important.
Yes.
I've always said, you know, when you get on the verge of nuclear holocaust, that's when the fun really begins. Yeah.
Live your life, like
Just
I said
kidding.
on my Instagram. But private charter is really easy. You know, there's a set price for all of them. There's a springtime price, a summer price. Generally more money in the summer, but, you know, that's just what it is. Example, like you have, 2 charters on the Amigo this year?
2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3, and then you got one on the Pride. And
2 or 3.
And you should jump on these charters for the people that watch him.
Thank you.
Because it's a lot of fun. Like, there's just a crack up. Like, that's why we fish together. That's what we do. We build a camaraderie. We have a lot of friends that want to go
People
fishing.
come back. We
And then
make
if
a
you,
video.
and the best part is if you have a weird friend, you bring him only on a private charter, so you know he doesn't expose the
Yeah,
general
like
populace,
Alex,
like
the
Alex,
intern,
exactly.
who says we're not getting any comments, which this is the first show that we've never gotten. I don't believe that.
That's why I
you
had
must
my
be on the
phone
wrong
on
page or
because-
something. Huh?
There's no question.
No.
It's a
Well,
really
if there's
starting.
comments, we'd like to hear them.
Oh.
I told you that before.
Well, like example, Tom Nelson
Thank you.
at
Mike, you go
7:05
ahead.
said, "Great fishing today on the Pride."
Thank you,
Great
Tom.
fishing. See,
Alex was supposed to be doing this, Tom. I told him,
Yeah.
don't only read the questions, read the comments. So the people that are taking the time to send in a comment, I'm going to kill you.
example.
Go ahead, Mike.
Example number 2, Chuck McDonald. That's why I was looking at my phone. It wasn't being rude.
Chuck.
Chuck McDonald says he's going on the Monte Carlo tomorrow. What should I bring? Go ahead, Alex. Repeat that.
Oh, there's
you
no
go.
questions, right?
That's
It
it's
just came.
fine.
It just came in.
Oh, okay. Well, let's answer Chuck's
Chuck
question.
McDonald said, going on the Monte tomorrow, what should I bring?
So if you're coming out tomorrow, you're going to want to bring an 8-10 ounce torpedo sinker. They did fish a little deep today. There wasn't much current. There wasn't much wind, so you're going to have the same weather tomorrow. 8 and 10 ounce torpedo, 20 to 25 pound test, monofilament, and like a size 2, size 1 hook, fishing small strips of squid. Pretty much it was cookie cutter across the board for all the boats today. You know, reds, chilies, sheephead, everything was, 1 to 3 pounds coming off the boat. Some of the little guys too.
And fishing spectra is important because you feel the bites or not?
Spectre is not for everyone, but to answer Chuck's real fast question,
Yeah.
don't come out straight mono if you don't know how to tie the knots. Straight mono, and you'll understand where the stretch is. You'll feel where the bottom is, and just 2 hooks and a couple sinkers. That's all you need. That just a half day fishing. There's nothing special going on there. The trick to catching fish, though, back to your Spectre question.
Yes.
Spectre does help. You want to fish 25-foot, leader of mono,
Right.
and the rest Spectra. So when it hits the bottom, you actually can feel this fish looking at your bait, and it really helps.
Pretty much, right?
That was an example I was doing last night on the Instagram. Is you hit the bottom, take a half a wind up, and just get a bend in your rod so you can feel your weight bob. Just feel it touching the bottom. Then you'll actually know what's going on, because now, wow, it doesn't feel like it's bobbing anymore. I got a rattle. Well, don't jerk your rod. Don't try to set the hook. You don't need to. Especially now you fish the octopus hook or a circle hook like that.
Yeah.
You just wind. Just point the rod tip down and wind. And if it feels like double the weight, there's a fish on. Chances are you sink it back down with that 1 fish on. You might come up with 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're aggressive and you get 2 right away. So half day fishing, super easy right now. Great this time of year. Smaller hooks, strips of squid. We're fishing bait tonight. I don't know what Paul has planned, if we're catching anchovies or sardines. But if there is live anchovies on the boat, the grouper and the reds absolutely smash those things. And you get away with like a size 1 or a 2 hook, 20, 25 pound test. Really simple. For your skilled anglers, which we'll all probably agree, 50, 65 pound Spectra full, 5 to 10 foot leader of, 30 pound of fluorocarbon,
Right.
and cut your dropper loops, make nice tags on them, separate your dropper loops by a foot and a half, and there you go. But it's all about getting your weight to the bottom, knowing it's on the bottom, no slack in your line, and just barely feeling it bob off the bottom. Let the boat's rocking let you feel what's going on. Like get in your brain and feel, oh, that's what the bottom feels like. All right, cool. And then all of a sudden, oh, I'm bit. Most of the time you get guys like this, leaning on the rail. It's not biting, but you see these guys catching fish left and right. It's because they know what their bait is doing on the bottom.
And Chuck, I don't know, is the weather supposed to be the same tomorrow?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, Chuck, you are going to have a beautiful weather day. There is no doubt about it. Alex.
Angel Garcia says, what rod rating would you recommend for rock fishing?
20 to 40 pound test, something with a light tip on it. If you're fishing deeper, you can get a little heavier rod, but you lose that sensation. But something with a light tip with a good backbone on it, 25 to 40 pound
So
setup.
are we talking the Monte Carlo or are we talking like Nicholas also?
Oh, that's a whole other animal. But
okay,
if you're gonna,
was it Angel? Is that what his name? Yeah, Angel. So you're talking, and then when you get up, like, we'll talk to Sean when he gets in here, but that's much bigger fish, right?
Yeah, you're going to want to bring something you can also yo-yo fish too. So your yo-yo setup, your 2-speed reel, full of 65-pound spectra, something that's rated upwards of, 30 to 50 pound. You still want to have that sense of tip so you got going on, but you're fishing deeper with a 1 pound weight, which, you're not going to want to fish 20 pound because, you got 8 pounds of fish coming up with your 1 pound sinker.
Yeah, exactly.
I love to do that.
Do you?
I love rock fishing.
Oh, I do too.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of people just feel like there's no sport in it. There's no fight. There's no bull. It is much fun.
Try to catch your limit with me.
Yeah,
it's sporting.
Fun stuff, right?
And faster you get that done, faster you get to go look at other things.
That's right. So, and go ahead.
Someone on here pointed out like limits. The limits are still 20 fish a day. Reds are down to 4. Chuckleheads are down to 1. We don't know what sheephead are doing. Whitefish are still the same. So you can make a day of it. But the faster you get your fish done, the bottom fish done, the faster the captain's going to go look at something else. I'm sure Sean drifted around looking for halibut, looked for sea bass this morning, looked for yellowtail this morning, and that's on an overnight trip. On a day trip, a half day trip, you got basically 3 hours of fishing. So they'll get on top of something and try to get whatever they could possibly get done and go ahead.
Good stuff, Alex. Alex, the intern, is actually chipping in now. We're very proud of you.
Andrew Deal asked, did any rockfish regulations change up for this year?
Andrew Deal. Andrew Deal is a great guy. He will be at Mass at 6:30 tomorrow morning because it's Ash Wednesday. I know this about this guy.
There you go.
So Ash Wednesday, starting Lent off. Be good, Andrew.
Yes.
Well, you kind of addressed that, but maybe go into a little more depth.
Reds went to 4.
So you can keep 4 reds, which is still pretty good, right?
One chucklehead was a copper rockfish. It's not a complete shutdown forever, so they're going to reevaluate the stock assessment, and we'll figure out what we're going to be able to
Any
catch.
comment on how, would you like to make any disparaging comments about how they arrive at this or not?
I sat in for like an 8-hour meeting.
Oh, well, cool. And you got better perspective than I do.
It's
Don't touch that microphone.
It was spoken for before we had a chance, but we had a lot of really good people put on public comment, a lot of fishermen, a lot of people that fish, a lot of boat owners and stuff like that. We'll work our way around it. We're very resilient, what we do, but
well, you talked about the guy in the Pursuit who had a smile from ear to ear today, and all the people I saw in the Native Sun.
The bag limits are still going to be. I mean, I like reds. I like keeping only reds and chuckleheads when I go out fishing. I'll trade people, a halibut for some reds and chuckleheads. That's how much I like it. But there's certain things that we'll post on here. We'll post on our Instagram, Facebook. I need all you guys that are watching us to follow savefishing.org. It's Ken Frankie and the Sport Fishing Association of California. We're still got that nasty carb thing that they've stated openly that the data that they brought forth to the committee is inaccurate. So hopefully they take that into consideration.
Who said that? The people that are actually trying?
Yeah.
They admitted it?
And when that meeting was almost over, a nice lady that's in charge of that thing had mentioned that they're not trying to put people out of business like they did the trucking industry. So there's a little heartfelt feeling, but they're the zero emissions Tier 4 engines are always looming. If we post something, you see it on any of the other landings. All the landings are sharing the same stuff when Ken Frankie sends it to us. So if you see it and you want to go fishing, you take your kids fishing, take your grandkids fishing, you guys do need to participate. I know all the landings have a manifest, have a list of all you guys. You just need a quick comment. Hey, that's a bad idea. So make sure you share on social media what you see that all the landings have been sharing for the last few months. Dana Wharf is in tune with it all. Follow them
Donna
on
does a great
Instagram.
job. And just, maybe there's people out there who don't even know what the hell we're talking about right now. The carb issue, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, there's a possibility looming out there that the demand would be for the guys to put Tier 4 engines in the boats. The technology doesn't exist now. It would put everybody out of business pretty much. So that is just unreasonable at this point. At some point in the future, perhaps we'll be able to do that. But right now,
we're all on
it's
board.
going to put a lot
We're
of people.
all on board to make things better.
Yeah, right.
These bag limits and everything that's imposed to us. We're kicking and screaming about them, but we get it. We need a future. We need to be able to catch fish. We need to be able to take people fishing. But this carb issue thing is, like you said, taking an engine that won't fit, into these boats and won't fit safely. The biggest concern we have as boat owners is we know guys that drive trucks for a living with something that's similar, and they break down on the highway all the time.
Yeah.
We're on the ocean. There's not AAA out there. We have our friend Sean and Eddie that has vessel assist, but we're talking about, 90 miles out to sea,
Right,
with an engine that just doesn't want to work because we're out of horse piss or cow piss or whatever stuff you got to put in these damn things. Even that's the thing. I haven't read into how they want it. I just know that the data they have is wrong. They're usually find stuff and give this guy a job and he finds all the bad things about it, but doesn't ever cross-reference what's actually transpiring. And it's not just affecting sport fishing, it's affecting Catalina Express, it's affecting the whale watch industry, it's affecting the tugs bringing in the ships.
Absolutely.
And imagine this, if you guys know how the ports work, you got this little baby boat pulling in this big boat in the harbor in close quarters, and then the engine just decides to quit.
That's not a good thing.
There's a lot of bad that could come. They're talking with Mike Doherty, the guy that would know this technology. Even if we got the technology to work, there's not enough people to help us keep them running. To make it say that it needs to be done by 2025 or whatever date that they're telling us that needs to be done, it's just not enough.
Seems unreasonable.
Having
implausible.
this COVID and people not working and stuff like that, there's not enough training. They don't come down here and teach us how to fix things. We rely on a mechanic who's supposed to know this stuff. And in the past, the guy comes down with a laptop. He's not coming down and coveralls with wrenches. That just doesn't, it doesn't work for what we need unless we're going to have a guy come out with us with all things to replace things out on the boat 90 miles away from home, with people in shitty weather, you need stuff to work out there.
Exactly.
We need to be able to get down there with some bubble gum and duct tape and get home.
Exactly.
You've been out making it get home.
My
Who's
God.
going to use the tiller arm tonight? My arm hurts. A lot of shit that happens out there when we're fishing.
And the demonization sometimes of fishermen really bugs me because, these guys. You're one of them. I was one of them. Hardworking, good people, and care about the ocean's environment perhaps more than anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
They're not out there to exploit or pollute or do any of those things, right?
Exactly. And not to mention, if they put us all out of work, we're going to have to go into the general population and get jobs. Think about that.
Oh, my God.
Think about some of the people down here in general population dealing with regular people.
Oh, no, that would not be good.
Brian Burrell's not designed for that.
Brian, why are you picking on Brian?
Because I know the guy. He's one of my good friends. Imagine if he had a job at McDonald's. Which pays well nowadays. It's not a bad job. It's a great job, actually, if that's for you. But if you're a fisherman, we go fishing for a reason, so we don't hurt people. It's the God's honest truth.
Even it's either the psych ward or on a fishing boat? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. The reality is I know there's people watching that have a therapist. Well, you go fishing more, you don't need that therapist. At $125 average for a full day, 3/4 day, and $200 for an overnight, that is way cheaper than going to see your shrink.
Well, and I don't know if you're joking or not, but
It's
I don't think you are.
truth.
Yeah.
God's honest truth. I used to have a therapist.
Helen's son, who was here last week,
said
that she uses fishing as a spiritual thing also.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a whole circle of life of what we do.
Yeah.
But back to that, you don't want all these guys out about. You want them on boats away from land. I've just promised you that. They're all my children here. I'm younger than most of them, but I know them. You don't want them out in public.
You're cracking me up, man. God. Hey, you're the manager here. What's the best part about your job? You're a people person. You're so good with people. I watch, whatever person walks in the door, they get treated great. whatever question they ask, some people might say, that's a dumb question. I never see you even think
Never a
that
dumb
because,
question.
people that are just coming into this business, they don't know what's going on. So they don't know. What's the best? Do you like? I'm going to guess that you're going to tell me it's meeting people, dealing with people.
You know what? If the minute I don't like people anymore, that's when I need to go find something else to
Yeah.
do. But I still, like, you guys think I'm nuts, but, like, July, August, September, October, when all the dock carts are coming up and you see this absolutely fried deckhand after he was cutting the fish, and it's like going to a World Series game for me. Like, just seeing the carts come up and people walking off and the guys standing at the gate waiting to get on the boat, just staring with their eyes huge. And
It's funny you say that because I notice you're not in the office. You're out meandering around.
I have to
with
be,
all the
making
people.
quality control, make sure everybody's doing what they need to be doing. But I like interacting with all these people. Most of these people, are on a first name basis, or I remember what we talked about 10 years ago. But just being here and seeing the boats coming, because we have a lot of badass boats here and about a badass crew members.
You got a hell of a fleet here now, huh?
It's kicking ass. I mean, there's always room for something bigger and better, but what we have, we've fine-tuned, in the last 10, 12 years that just runs like a top. We run when it's time to run. We catch when the opportunity's there, and being in tune with having the bait barge, right here, we know what's going on. We got closer to most fishing places we can. I don't fish as much as I used to. I did fish a lot last year with my kid. That was a lot of fun. But the thing I hate about my job, I have to paint a smile on my face when I sell tickets in the morning.
Oh, you're tired? You're not a morning person or what?
No.
Oh, really?
I'm not going fishing, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
really?
Yeah, I didn't get to go fishing.
Yeah.
So, like, last night, I probably should have just jumped on the Pride.
Yeah.
I should have, but I didn't. I had paperwork to do. So
Well,
I have to paint,
but you wouldn't have been here on time either.
Paint a smile on my face and I'll have a fun trip. And just be bitter about it. But I learned how to be bitter, about it with a smile on my face.
But you start to look at, I look at what you have to do. And, so you got the inventory out there. You got to take care of the employees here. Then you got to take care of these guys that you don't want in the general population.
Yeah, those guys.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not making a bad comment, but it's like herding cats.
Yeah, no.
You can't get two of those guys. If you told those guys, we'll get your fuel price down to $2 a gallon next week, one of them would argue with you. Nobody gets on the same page. It's pretty brutal.
So all these guys take a lot of pride in what they do, and they've done it, and their program works for them. A lot of guys aren't interested in me being the land guy's opinion, but we all work stuff out. Like I would never question John Woodrum's decisions on how to run a boat. But I question him sometimes. He tells me how to run the office. But that's when we go to argue it out. But I have Mark and Paul and Jeff right side by side if we have any fishing questions and things like that. I have a great office staff, Tony and Janelle.
You do.
Tony and Janelle.
Tony and Janelle.
The best.
Thank you.
And we also have James and Larry and Eric on the weekends.
Yes. Anybody else?
Ronald and Damien. We got everybody here. You guys like Damien down here. You got to go fishing with him too. He puts up one hell of a charter group. Those guys are assassins.
And he has a ton of charters.
Yeah, no, he books a lot of charters. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He almost wants to book it, just fish full time. I was like, get a job on a boat. He's like, no, don't want to scrub. But yeah, so we have a great staff. We have, most of you guys, I get DMs all the time on Instagram and whatnot about how wonderful job the crews are doing, and for all practical purposes, this job here is usually seasonal, temporary, but it's not. I get a hold of somebody and they generally don't leave, or they leave and come back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because they kind of get this in their blood too, don't they?
Well, to be able to work night or mornings here and watch the sun rise or the sun go down and not actually go to a real job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you walk out on the docks tonight. I saw you walking down there a half hour ago or whatever it was. It's freaking gorgeous. What a beautiful winter night it is.
I'm not looking forward to the wind coming this Thursday, but
what's up? I missed that. So we have a windy situation coming Thursday
it's
through
coming
what?
in late Thursday, Friday. It might back off on Saturday, and then Sunday should be fishable. There'll be a little bit of residual swell, but if the weather's nice, we're going again. So
Is there rain coming or just wind?
I think Thursday or Friday is a little bit of rain.
Yeah.
But it's just the springtime stuff. Like we usually get blown out in April, but if we get it out in March, then we can actually have a decent April.
Right.
The weather last October was depressing. I keep saying, go fishing in October, and I failed so many people because
well,
you know,
I
the
know, but-
Santa Anas are always the best. You
Yeah,
go
it's the best
offshore
weather
and
months.
Catch one of those day and a halves where you get a sundowner, which is the sun is going down and the whole boat is bent. Is the most incredible. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Oh, it's
the
so
most
cool,
incredible
isn't it?
feeling ever. Especially back in the day, we're fishing 45 people on the Freedom, and this is when Tom Lee was running the boat. And we're getting this drift, and the whole boat's bent and 40-pound yellowfin, and it was just, God, it
Epic.
was epic.
Yeah.
I have 9 people that I know that I still talk to about that one trip.
Really?
It was great, best day ever. So,
There is something about getting that home run at the very end of a trip. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful, and the sun is setting, and,
And
you're hanging fish.
and for me, I don't even care if I land the fish anymore, you know, unless I'm planning on tacos in a couple days. But
I'm sure
I
it's-
like hooking a fish, getting bit,
And
taking
handing
a few
it to
lines,
Benjamin.
and handing it. Well, actually, no, he doesn't take hooking hands anymore. The other night we were fishing on the dock, and he was like, I caught 4 bass, and I was just kind of having fun with him. And he looks back at me, and he's like, "You want me to pass the next one I catch off to you, son?" I was like, "No, get out of here."
He doesn't need your
He's
help.
6 years old.
That's funny.
But no,
How important is that fishing relationship with your son and you and your daughter? And
It's huge to me. I grew up, you know, without anyone in my life except for my mom. My mom was my rock, and you know, she took me fishing for the first time in Laughlin. You know, we're sitting outside of the hotel fishing straight up and down for trout and fishing with hot dogs. It was cool. I love fishing with hot dogs, and just that was a warm fuzzy feeling. At call me lame and all, but I'll fish all you striper guys with a Hebrew National hot dog and a freaking treble hook.
Has to be a Hebrew national.
For some reason, they don't like Oscar Mayer. I
Well,
don't know why.
Kosher, huh?
I guess.
Yeah.
But you know, I always joke because you see these guys making these absolutely stunning striper baits. You know, they're like $100, $200 a piece.
And you're fishing with a hot dog.
Well, I'll fish them with them, but I know if it's a slow bite, I'll just whip out the fly lined Hebrew National and crack open a beer and be like, "Yeah, I'll see you guys in 20," and come back with a.
Do they bite, honestly, hot dogs? They must, huh? You're
They
not
do.
kidding around, right?
Really
I've
do.
never fished stripers.
Well, we used to go to Cottonwood Cove, right at the bottom of the dam, Hoover Dam, above Lake Mojave. That's a trout stocking area. We used to hike in there in the summer at night because it was 1,000,000 degrees in Vegas, so we'd hike down there and hang out. And you could sit there and fish all day, anything you want, but the bigger stuff came just on the lazy the lazy stripers. Biggest catfish you'll ever see live down there too. So if you guys get a chance, go fish out Cottonwood Cove.
That
It's
sounds
pretty
like
badass.
fun.
Yeah.
And do you ever go back and fish those areas? Or
I
are you
haven't
done
in a
with
while.
that?
I need to. Back to me and my son fishing all the time. I'm starting to train Janelle and Tony to, you know, not replace me, but be able to do my job in my absence. So, you know, my kid's old enough to pick his own backlashes out, especially my daughter too. She loves fishing. She just had a bad experience last time. We sat in the trough all day, and she just got all seasick. So
Yeah.
she wants to go, but I got to get her back out there on a good day.
Yeah.
Took them out on the one day I ran the Monte Carlo. And we had like 200 barracuda last year.
Really?
You know, they were like, you know,
They must have had a blast.
oh, goodness. And they were, my kid would walk up to another guy winding his own barracuda. Let me wind that in. He must have had 200 barracuda himself just by everybody passing him a hook in hand. But taking your kids fishing is, it's something that has, whether you could bring them on a boat or you don't, you know, take them fishing. It's something that they need to do.
You mean whether you're surf fishing or
Anything.
whatever?
Yeah, take them surf fishing. I took them surf fishing in Cabo. We fished Colt snipers and all kinds of weird stuff. We had like 3 or 4 needlefish blow up on us, but we should have got on a ponga. That was fun. Saw one of those flying bat rays jump out of the water.
Oh, right. That's so cool, isn't it?
Cabo was sick.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
Weather was great. It was in.
You were down there for Aaron Graham's wedding, right?
Yeah, we were there for 7 days. Stayed at the Santos Finisterra, right above the marina, and we're looking forward to going back again and again and again.
I love it down there.
We might spend a week though at Catalina this year for our wedding anniversary.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Probably take a skiff over there so we go fishing.
One of these days you'll have to drive down to Cabo with the kids. You'll absolutely love it.
You know, and the
Yeah,
more and more I
it's really
talk to you
awesome.
guys and Dan and stuff like that have actually places down there, you know, I think it's safe enough to pull it off.
It is.
I know. In the current situation, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I know enough guys that do it that it would be pretty rad.
It is. Now, as I always say, the question is, can a bad thing happen to me? Yeah. What are the chances a bad thing will happen to me? And they're
Well, you know
relatively
you know
low.
before you left too.
Yeah.
You know, you already know what's hot down there and what's not.
Right.
So, and all of us have, I mean, I took my 6-week-old to Cabo with us. We got him a passport, so that was 6. We have to actually take him somewhere else and use his passport.
Right. People that find trouble in Mexico usually are looking for trouble. I don't imagine you're going to be over in the red light district in Tijuana with your kids, so you're probably not going to run into any trouble.
I'm try
that way.
not to. Too much explaining to do right now. We were having this talk tonight before I got here, and I was like, with my daughter, and I'm like, "You heard what today?" And I'm like,
At school, she heard
"You're
something?
8 years old.
I know.
How dare you?"
I know.
And I was gonna like, "Who said that?" And then she got quiet, and I'm like, "Just please, just laugh and don't repeat any of those things. Your friends, because they probably got bigger brothers and sisters that are teaching them things."
Right. The rush to make kids adults nowadays is just, you know, you want kids to have that childhood.
Just wait till you have to start paying your own bills, Alex.
Yeah. Alex, you have a question over there?
Yeah. Steve said, can you talk about the variety of species on the open party boats that are getting?
Can you talk about the variety or the verity, if you want to use
Variety.
Alex's word?
The species on the open party boats that are getting on the pursuit.
Yes. What is the verity of those things?
We're fishing. So on the
Variety.
well, speaking on behalf of like how we're fishing with our limits now. So my statement went. All the boats right now are catching pretty much the same thing. You got red snapper, whitefish, sheephead, chuckleheads, half bands, chili peppers, and that's I don't know the scientific name for them.
Me either.
And they're all wonderful, delicate white meat. Makes the best tacos in the world, except for calico bass. I keep calico bass when it's time to keep them for the calico bass tacos. And my statement went that your guys' data came from local shelf fisheries, half-day boats that fish local up and down the coast.
Yeah.
Well, the stuff locally tends to be a little smaller.
Right, absolutely.
You know, the reds are cookie cutter. They're about yay big. And sometimes you catch one big chuckle or a lingcod or something like that. But on a half-day boat, they're not as big as at San Nick. They're just not. Sometimes you catch one, random. They do migrate and stuff like that. But sometimes you catch a great big one on a half-day boat. And then, the stuff at Catalina Island, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get hammered as much that these, smaller boats don't know. So they tend to be a little bigger over at Catalina Island. Santa Barbara Island, they got kind of a variety.
A little bigger.
You get to San Nicolas, it's the land of the giants. You go fishing with Cody or Tucker up there at Santa Rosa, it's just second to none rock fishing. Some of those spots at San Clemente Island that Tino's taken us to recently, just stellar rock fishing.
Really?
Absolutely stellar rock fishing. These little veins and fingers that he just sets up on the drift. Him and Jeff Markland, they all know those things like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
And they tend to be, on average, 2 to 3 pound rock fish. And you got that standout, 5-pounder that just takes jackpot or something like that. But
And of course, Tino does the sheep's head call. Do you know how to do that? Look right at that camera, Mike. The infamous. Yeah, so and that Clemente bite can be awesome.
That's the best part about going to San Clemente Island is like this time of year, like we could have connected or Sean could have connected at San Nick. Water's a little cold, so he saw signs of yellows to get them to bite something other than a stripper squid, because I've seen people on a double dropper loop catch a yellowtail. It happens. They kind of get lockjaw. But at San Clemente Island, water can be cold and off color because it's, basically at the end of the world where we fish. But, fishing through the spring, you'll tend to see more and more and more and more surface type fish. Calico bass, bonita, sea bass, yellowtail. And just a week ago, I had some guys on a skiff that have their boat here in the marina. And we're like, we got our limit our bluefin by 9 a.m.
Jeez.
Yeah, so there's this bluefin that's here isn't water dependent, cold water dependent, or warm water dependent.
It doesn't seem like it, does it?
It's not.
No.
They made this place home for some reason.
Yeah.
So who knows why, but we're very thankful for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I have a couple theories on them, but...
Go ahead. Let's hear them. Are they bizarre? I hope.
No, kind of. Well, you think about...
It doesn't have anything to do with aliens or anything like that, does it? Oh, okay.
Maybe some aliens.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think one theory is the nuclear properties that were leaked out in the coast of Japan's.
Right.
That could have something to do with it because fish aren't dumb.
You mean it moved the fish to our neck of the woods?
Could have. There's
Okay.
a surplus of food. You got red crabs still kind of sort of around. You got a surplus of squid on the banks, smaller anchovies, and all that smaller bait you saw is growing now. So you have that. And then you've had floating kelp patties. By that I mean ships. Hundreds of thousands of container ships
Oh,
sitting around just
I mean because of the supply chain crisis.
correct.
Yeah.
So there's certain things like that. If you look on that AIS app that everybody looks at now, you can still see it now. They pushed all of the out of sight, out of mind ships from the port of Los Angeles down to Ensenada, so that's how they got rid of the congestion. So let's go pollute their air. But they, I think that had a lot to do with it because we had a pink-footed booby bird that.
Oh, that one that was on the Frito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that came.
I was all over that
That
thing.
stayed local, and
I-
that
somebody
hasn't
yelled-
been here for forever.
Somebody yelled boobies and you ran right
I
out the
went
door.
running for it.
Yeah.
Poor wife. She's a saint.
Yeah.
That my other theory is just that bird landed on a ship that was idle for 2 or 3 months and then woke up and shit, we're in LA now.
I know, right?
Boy, I
Like,
messed up.
whoa, where am I here?
And to go back, and this is theory, to go back the last time they saw it, there was a similar, not a pandemic, there was a similar situation where the ships were halted.
Backed up,
Backed up.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So I think, because what I'm getting at is these ships at night have these bright ass lights, and the bait gets under these bright lights and create its own ecosystems. And if they're not moving for months on end, they've created their own ecosystem. So there's a lot of stuff that can,
Very
you know,
possible.
it's just the theory. It's all theory. I'm crazy though.
Interesting stuff, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, you're crazier than I thought you were, actually. Alex, you have another question for us.
Yeah, 540 Slinger.
540 Slinger
Oh,
Jeff.
that guy.
I love that guy.
He asked, what is Mike's favorite island to fish?
Mike, what is your favorite island to fish? And don't say Oahu. I assume Jeff is
It's-
talking about local islands.
Yeah, no, it's got to be San Clemente Island.
Really?
There's just such a variety of things. You can go hit it any time of the year and have a great fishing trip. But that for me is situational because I like going to San Nicolas Island and messing up the reds and the tripleheads too.
Yeah, but probably you have better shot at yellows and calico bass at Clemente, like you say. And there's some pretty good rock fishing, as you just pointed out, Tino.
So
And Jeff Marklin
I'd
over
have-
there on
yeah.
the Thunderbird do
Yep.
such a great job on those fish.
but I also like Catalina because they have the best buffalo milk in town.
Oh, that's true.
That's a cocktail.
No, well, it is. Well, how do you get on the island to get it?
Catalina Express.
Yo, you run over there. And,
Yeah.
you ever fish off the beach over there?
We have.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of guys that take the Catalina Express over and then surf it, or fish off the
there's
rocks.
a lot of
there.
guys you chat with. There's guys that I've actually was waiting for the Catalina Express boat, talking to them, and they fish at our landing. So you can go and have fun over there.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Alex, you're doing an admirable job tonight. Very good.
Is that-
Very proud of you.
Andrew Deal
Andrew Deal.
asks if the party boats are gonna start targeting bluefin.
I hope not. I hope not anytime soon.
Well, wait a minute. You just talked about how blessed we are to have these bluefin tuna. So Andrew
We
Deal
have to go back
picks
to
up on
some
that.
kind of normalcy. We need to fish rockfish March, April, and then May we start turning into like a transitional.
So you're
calico
worried
bass.
about
We need to
the.
bring back people to like normal fishing. My prediction this year and the coming years with this cold water, we're gonna get back to just mediocre fishing, and everything that we catch is gonna be earned because you need to listen to us and captains and change your lines and go down a size. We're not gonna be able to fly line a mackerel or a sardine like we were during the El Nino cycle. So
Because we're going to have anchovies?
we're gonna have more anchovies.
Right.
There has been a lot more anchovies
Yeah.
around.
So, but you're not thinking the bluefin are going anywhere, right? That's still
No,
going to
no,
be around.
exactly.
But it might be later on in the year.
Yeah, if the bluefin jump off tomorrow and the weather's good, we're gonna be like, let's go. Let's go do that. But depending on where they're at,
Humans are funny creatures because they do you can be catching bluefin, great bluefin. They get bored with stuff. I remember when I decked in San Diego, we would catch an albacore,
Mm-hmm.
and then it got to the point where people and you're like fingers crossed, and the minute the yellowfin bit, tons of people back.
We run out of customers every year on that bluefin.
Yeah.
People just lose interest.
Right.
Yep.
So
And then
you need like that variety.
talking with guys that fish a couple times a week and a couple times a month, their freezer was full, and then that's what Fisherman's Processing was dealing with. There was so much bluefin being caught. They were backlogged. They were turning people away because people weren't picking up their fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, gee whiz.
It wasn't that they couldn't keep up. It's just people went fishing so much and caught so many of them. So many big ones, too. I predict a fish over 350, 400 possible this year.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You want to make
just
a bet with anybody out there? Will you do so? Wait, hold on. That's a good thing. If there is not a bluefin tuna over 350 pounds this year, what will you do? Will you jump off the docks into the
I'll
water?
jump in the docks in Mandaware.
You will?
Yeah, off the freezer.
And I will film it.
100%.
Okay. There you are, everybody. Mike Morrison will jump, Alex like that, off the docks in his underwear. What kind of underwear?
Whatever you want.
I don't want any.
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Well, I do want him. I do
Spider-Man,
want him to
I'm
be
in.
pink or something like that, though.
Yeah, whatever.
Please.
I'll wear a cape. I don't care.
All right, perfect. That sounds good. Alex, anything else there?
Yeah. Carter Warwick asked,
Carter.
what length trip do you consider to be the best bang for your buck as far as time spent fishing?
Carter, excellent pregunta. Mike,
That's a great question.
it really is.
So, things you're going to see this year across the whole industry is we're dealing with the fuel prices. So, first of all, our loads are going to be the same as the pandemic. We're keeping 50 or so on the Monte Carlo. We can take 90. The ticket price for the half day boat is going to stay the same unless fuel just absolutely goes
Berserk. And
Absolutely
Mike,
berserk.
let's be serious here. It could.
It's going to.
Yeah,
But
I mean-
it might not. Let's just say not if it happens, when it happens.
It could, though, because of this. You not only have the inflation situation, but you have this Ukrainian
Yeah. the
nonsense.
whole- yeah.
Not nonsense. I don't mean to downplay that, but you have the Ukrainian thing going on and purchasing Russian oil.
Yeah.
We're purchasing that. And, if we keep sanctioning the Russians, something tells me they might up the price of their oil to everybody. And
And
so
we can't just stop buying it, but
Right.
who knows? But we can. There's other
we could
sources.
produce domestically, but let's not get into that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
There's a surplus of stuff here that we just can't get our heads out of.
Yeah,
We're saving it for a rainy day.
let's put these sanctions on Russia, but let's keep buying 600,000 gallons of
Stuff I
fuel
was
every.
reading, all the right people are bailing out of it. So,
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, it could get worse, right?
but yeah, to go back exactly. So our prices and everyone else's prices are going to be purely dependent on fuel. It's not always like that. So our loads. So best bang for your buck right now, to be honest with you, would be any of the boats that are running. We're talking not even out of this landing. Any boat with enough people to run is your best bang for your buck. Now, because you're fishing with 35 people compared to 90 people, we cut the loads way back and up the price. And everybody's just super stoked on it. So if we run with 10, it's not a losing run for the boat owners.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. If you want a bang for your buck situation, though, jump on a day and a half trip when those things come available.
I agree.
And it doesn't have to be an offshore deal. It can be a day and a half, island trip. Only because it gives you the opportunity to fish around the tides for that day. We don't know what the current is going to do, and that's the water movement. We don't know what the moon's going to be doing, and we don't entirely know. Once you get there, it's a whole other story. We can say it's going to be high tide at noon and try to fish the incoming tide or the outgoing tide.
Right.
But we don't know these things. So a day and a half of any caliber, of any landing, anywhere on Earth. Can you stop that?
I'm choking to death over here. I know. Sorry. Go ahead. You fish sunrise to sundown.
Yeah,
It's
you
great,
fish it
right?
all day, and especially if it's a day and a half Clemente, day and a half San Nick, you get the opportunity to fish everything. You get the sun up, the gray light bite, you get the sundown bite, you get a hell of the dinner is great. Boat dinner, boat food's wonderful. A day and a half trip, that's your best bang for your buck. So if you can pick a trip and you only have the budget to pick a trip, pick a $350 to $600 day and a half trip, depending on where you're going and what's going on there. Get on a day and a half trip. You just that would be your best bang for you.
I totally agree. And the next best thing, I mean, I like the 2-day because just like the scenario I'll paint for you, like we were on the Amigo that one time, and we went to Cortez Bank and we hammered these giant yellows, caught those big reds, blah, 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 blah. And so at sundown, we would have gone home, but we went to Clemente.
Yeah.
We anchored up in Northwest Harbor. It was a gorgeous evening. It was really rough weather outside, but you get in there in Northwest, it's beautiful. Had a great night, barbecued, the whole thing. And then the next morning, we went out and we started getting shellacked right away. It was that crappy weather, and guess what? Limits of bluefin our second day.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I agree with Mike. Day and a half, 2 day. It just gives you that extra time because as an operator, man, when you're on a 1 day trip, you're thinking, I got to head for home at noon or 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of pressure. And if there's a late bite, as you said, maybe the tide's good in the late afternoon, you miss it.
Something changed, and we got enough network out there that we talk to the people on other boats that we know we have our ear to the ground on it, so it pays off. A day and a half trip, doesn't matter the time of year. It can be, that's just where you need to be. Something longer than a day trip.
Yeah,
That's your best
absolutely.
bang for your buck.
Alex?
Chuck McDonald says, have you seen the slow pitch jigs working for the rockfish?
Chuck asks if the slow pitch jigs are working. That is a great question. Mike, the answer.
My good buddy, kind of a mentor.
You know Chuck?
Badass guy.
Oh,
Gary Kwan. Tatty Lures.
right behind you, all those tatty lures.
Where is that thing?
Is there a...
Go run to the shop, and over by the snacks on the top, you'll see a TSP jig. Go grab it so we can show these people.
Perfect.
So Gary's was just in a couple weeks ago, and he was out with Joey from Tatty, and they said it was just insane. So he let my son fish one of those vertical jigging rods. It's just a goofy looking setup because we don't fish them. We'll touch on that, your rod choice, by the way, that in a minute. But they're, it's a regular size, 20 size reel on this real goofy, whippy thing that's rated for 100 pound. Like, how the hell am I going to catch 100 pound anything on this thing?
Right.
There it is. We'll bust this bad boy open.
Whoa.
This is what he's talking about.
I get to keep it now.
Sure.
Throw me that bottle of water, the big one, please. Just toss it.
Hit it with it.
Nice.
Bam.
So I don't choke anymore.
We actually got to play around with it, me and my kid. And
so what is slow pitch? It's a methodology?
Yeah,
It's
not yo-yoing. It's not anything. I mean, you can't really see what's going on here. But go look up Google. All you guys Google the Tatty TSP lure, and it'll show you. Look it up on videos. But it's pretty badass because it's not quite a flat fall. It does work as a flat fall jig.
God, that thing's
but
got to be wide open.
Vertical jigging, as soon as you hit the bottom. Some people like fishing them with the hooks up high, which the only purpose of that would be is you don't snag the bottom too well. But you fish them like this, and you can cheat a little bit and tip it with squid, but you don't need to. They see this thing fluttering in their face, and every species that you would call a rockfish species, everything eats this. It's silly. You can fish it. Doesn't have to be on a vertical jigging rod. You can fish it with just like a 30 or 40 pound setup, some like a yo-yo type setup. But
What does the vertical jigging rod, what advantage does that give you?
When you pull, you kind of pop them, so it kind of snaps them up in the air. You got one?
Yeah. Use it.
Is that a vertical jigging rod?
Yeah, it's a jigging rod.
But this one was different. This one was only about that long. I wish I had one to show you. But vertical jigging, I'm just getting into it. We took this thing to San Nick. And, this one's 150 gram. What's that in ounces?
Let me see it.
That's like,
It's like a 4 ounce, right?
Yeah, right?
6 ounce? Okay.
Feels like 4.
If you fish, I bet you fish the 200 gram. If there's no current, you're not drifting too far, this would probably work just fine. But the 200 gram plus, and you get this down through the water column, this is a lot of fun.
Now, does that work locally as well as at the islands? Local?
It can.
Yeah.
But back to what we were saying, the local fish, it's...
they don't bite the artificials
They don't like the artificials too much.
Right.
We were way back when we were fishing those smaller ahi jigs. Ahi jigs? Somewhere. Yeah, the ahi jigs, it's a diamond jig. Those things work good, but you have to cheat locally, and you have to put a little squid on here to entice them.
Right.
Everything under the sun, pretty much everything we're catching, it looks like a big ass hook, but it's not. It's normal size hook, and their mouths are that big. So whatever we catch, we'll eat it. Whitefish will struggle to catch it, and we're gonna get that pollution of whitefish again locally again because of a little squid in the area.
Yeah.
But that vertical jigging is a lot of fun. You just kind of pop it up and down. They're not that cheap. We saw these for $20 at the shop. This is the 120 gram. It's fun. Try it. Bring a vertical jig with you. It's not a flat ball. It's different. So this has a whole bevel to it. It's kind of strange. So vertical jigging from the TSP lure from there. Try it. That's my opinion on it. It's fun.
I can see up there in the Channel Islands or fishing
Oh,
Nicholas.
you knock the hell out of them.
It'd be crazy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Patrick and I sat up in the bow and had iron one time. We were out on the Pacific Islander, I think.
Yeah.
And we just, every single drop. It was so much fun. It's such a memorable,
Correct.
talking about fishing with your kids.
Though, is I wouldn't fish them on a crowded boat because if you're not aware of what this thing's doing, you're not going to be everybody's best friend because you're going to tangle everybody up.
So
make sure you know what you're doing.
Well, what do you mean by that? Exactly.
You're gonna-
it goes down like...
Yeah, it kind of flim-flams around and you're constantly jigging with everybody else's, their 8-ounce torpedo sinkers hopping across the bottom like this. You're going like this and taking everybody up with them. So
if you can go up to the bow and toss it
yeah,
up,
yeah.
that's a good way to do it, right?
Current and give it a go, and depending on where you're fishing. But we used them locally. We caught a sand bass and a sculpin on it with no bait.
Cool.
It worked well. Benjamin was stoked.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Alex, you're doing a great job, Alex.
Good job, Alex.
I don't care what Mike says.
Says
What's his name?
540 Slinger.
Oh, 540 Slinger, Jeff.
That guy again. I'm not being rude. I'm reading the same thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
said
make
last
sure he's-
year it took a while for the calicos to get active. Does it look like the same for this season?
It does appear that the kelp's making a comeback.
Because of the cold water.
Cold water. Kelp's the fastest growing species on the planet.
That's correct.
Yeah, it grows.
Although Alex is getting quite tall all the time.
He's losing
now,
weight
yeah.
too. Great.
Yeah.
You've been working out?
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
It grows. It's 2 to 10 feet. I mean, it's amazing. Kelp's pretty cool. It is making a comeback. I noticed it the other day when we're coming out of Terminal Island and I was moving the bounty over here. And, it's not out to sea, but the kelp forest right at the end of the jetty there was out in the middle of the channel. So that's a good sign because it's harbor water. If it's growing in the harbor that good, it's got to be growing pretty good elsewhere. We'll probably ask Aaron and Gus and see what they saw today, or even Sean if he pops in here, if the kelp's making a comeback. But if the last few years, without the kelp, the calico bass are there. They're just hunkered down at different depths, waiting for an opportunity to get. But back in the day, as you know, you throw anything into the kelp, so you can get your lure back, you're bit.
Yeah, right.
So you go to Clemente and just absolutely knock the crap out of the bass.
Absolutely.
It was great. So if the kelp comes back, we're going to see a lot of really good fishing in calico bass world, sea bass world, yellowtail world. And the water still continues to stay cold, like we're predicting. It's a La Nina, so that's why I said fishing's going to get tough. You're going to earn every single fish you catch here. So kelp comes back, it's going to change it for us. We're going to catch a lot of bass, a lot of perch, a lot of stuff to go with it.
Maybe even barracuda will be back with the anchovy and everything else. You never know,
for
right?
the love of God, I love barracuda.
Sand bass, barracuda.
Yeah, if you bring up that A word tonight,
I'm going to bring it up
not
later.
bring it up.
Oh, I am going to bring it up. And I am not only going to bring it up, I am going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're not ready to give our...
Crack an egg on your head again.
I know. Alex, another question? No more questions. All right, Mike, so, the fact that we have that cold water, the kelp's growing, we have the squid in town, but it takes fish, that 60-degree mark is the mark that when the bass and the sea
54
bass...
to 58 right now. all over
it's
the
cold,
place, so
right?
it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
You got to pretty much knock a fish in the head to catch one right now.
Exactly. Yeah. They're just really lethargic, right? I mean, you got to really entice them. So the cold water and the squid and everything else, what does that portend for a white sea bass season? What do you think?
Should be pretty good. Last year, the Channel Islands had, 90 days almost of straight sea bass
Those
fishing.
guys up there.
That was insane. But they also had colder water and squid up there.
Right.
You're talking to Joe V that runs the Squid or whatever up there, and Tucker and those guys. They had squid available. Well, now it's not that far of a stretch to get out on an overnight trip and make your own squid. Catalina's had it. It's been local, up and down the coastline, Clemente, Santa Barbara. So we're seeing more.
And is that different from last year?
100%.
We didn't. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
10 times the amount of squid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually commercial fished squid pretty good.
Yeah.
That was one of the better years we've had.
Is there squid at Catalina now? Do you
yeah,
know?
Yeah, it's hard to catch. The mammals are on it pretty quick. So
yeah.
If you can get an area where there's no sea lions, you can make your night. But if you're coming out on an overnight trip this year, I don't have any currently, but I got to make my way over to Iserline. You're going to want to bring one of the little daisy-chained squid snaggers with you on all overnight trips. I don't care what time of the year is. So we'll have them for purchase at the landing. They might even have some extra on the boat, but you want to bring a squid snagger with you and help the cause. There could be a light boat there. You could make your own squid, but it's a backup plan because we're going to have decent bait, but everything wants squid.
Yeah, and man, I mean, sometimes that's a make or break deal, and if everybody chips in,
it only takes 200 pieces.
Yeah,
you know, you can take an hour, catch 200 pieces, and your day's made when the sun comes up.
Yeah. So what do you think, Catalina this year? Do you think that's more viable than it was last year?
I predict that the Pursuit and the Native Sun and even some of the overnight boats are going to see fish at the V's and Ben Weston and stuff like that. They're going to see, more fish caught. I know a couple buddies that run skiffs, and they've already had some pretty good whacks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Consistent sea bass fishing.
Really?
I'd say consistent, but the water kind of turned, so change the shallows out for them. But we've been known prior to the El Nino just knock the hell out of those sea bass when they're biting. There wouldn't be surprised is when you're coming home from San Clemente Island to not quite get your gear taken down yet. Don't break it apart yet. Leave it together because sometimes you get a phone call last minute and
you go pulling into the east end.
East end's biting. Catch your freaking limited sea bass and continue on your.
God, are those bitchin' trips, man? Where you catch all that calico bass and some yellows over at Clemente, and then you're heading home, and hey, we got a call. We're gonna go in here.
That's one of the best things fishing with Tino is because he still has a great connection with a lot of skiff operators that they help each other out, and you might be on a trip coming home, and hey guys, you got 20 minutes to get your stuff together, and you get there, don't even turn the boat off, and it's bent. Like the whole boat's bent.
I know. I can't tell you the amount of people that tell me they love fishing with Tino Valentine. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, "Yeah, I'm never going with that jerk again." It's always really positive.
Yeah. No,
he
puts on a show.
He puts on a show. He gets everybody working together.
He's really good with the family members. Don't be afraid to bring your spouse, your daughter, your son with you. He'll make sure that the crew gets them on a fish, one form or another. So, fishing with Tino is incredible. He's just wonderful with people.
And the guys on deck. I mean, Gary's one of them.
Yeah.
I am so impressed with Gary Woodrum. He when I walked up to him,
except for today when he looked tired.
Yeah, I still am. I walked up to him the other day and I said, "Hey, you mind doing a quick update for me?" And man, he is so good on camera.
Gary's gonna do well.
He's really, really, really good. He's a people person. He looks after people, and he's got all the fish sense that his father's put into him.
And he's way smart too. You wouldn't guess.
Yeah, I know.
He's super smart.
Yeah, yeah. Not too typical for a fisherman, right?
Not him. Sean's back.
Oh, is that them?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
He
cool.
comes in here.
All right, so the Pride is arriving here into 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. In a moment, Sean Roberts will come up, join us, and give us an up-to-date San Nicolas Island update. I can't wait to hear how the Pride did. How do you feel about the Pride being here? It's a great little boat, isn't it?
I don't care what boat that Sean's running.
He ran the Fortune last year.
It's great to have him here. The kid's incredible. He tells it how it is. If it's biting, it's biting. If it's not, it's not. Super aggressive. Now that he has the Pride here, I didn't know much about the boat prior to coming. We were just at that PCS show at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Magazine show in Newport,
Orange County
Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And
where I serve beer every once in a while.
I didn't see you there. I got free beer. Damn it.
No, I was at the drag races.
And the common consensus is that there was a lot of people that fished at Seaforth, and they're actually super pumped because they know how quiet the boat is, how fishy it's going to be at the islands, and the limited load thing, is going to be great. But just hearing the people say, "Oh man, I love that boat. I didn't know where it went. Now I know it's over there. Oh, we're going to be fishing here." I'm like, "Yeah." Because it fished up and down the coast, but it never really went to Catalina, Clemente. It never went to
right.
It's what it's going to specialize on that it didn't before.
Right.
It's going to be at Rosa one day. You never know. Sean's out of his mind.
And you know what's funny? You said it's super quiet, the boat, and every other boat that pulls in here, I hear the boat pulling in. I can hear it.
What you hear right now is their generator.
Yeah, I don't even hear that. I heard him on the PA.
Yeah, no, it's so quiet.
Why is that important?
Sea bass don't like noise. You'll be on a trip if you guys have been on a trip before where you're probably sleeping when it happens, but the crew wakes up and they push the anchor over, but they hand line it really slow over the side of the boat. The sea bass are really skittish. It's super important while sea bass fishing not to lose the first one. Land the first one, because when you lose one, they all swim with it. But a quiet boat at these islands, the fish are just going to think it's, kelp floating around because it's super quiet.
Yeah.
So,
And you get into some epic bites on quiet boats. The Betty G out of Redondo, that's one of those boats that's super
even
quiet.
Alan Watson's boat's quiet
Yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah. So
That's why guys hand over hand the anchor when they're in the short water fishing sea bass, right?
Sneak in there and sneak out of there with a bunch of sea bass.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to have any amount of sea bass locally this year?
We've already my diving buddies are shooting the hell out of them right now.
Hey, who's this guy? Sean Roberts from the Pride.
From the Pride. Come
Why
on
don't you
in.
scoot over there, Mike? You can.
I'm leaving.
No, you're not. You're still here. Sean, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good to see you. Say hi to your friends out there.
What's going on, guys?
You look
my
beat. You look tired.
No, ready for another one tonight.
Are you going tonight?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Back to
So
back here.
you went to Nicholas. Let's give us the soup to nuts. How was your weather? How was your group? What'd you catch? How was it?
It was a little rolly heading out, but we had very good fishing. We kind of stayed shallow most of the day,
Meaning how deep?
40 to 110 feet.
Really?
Wow.
We had limits of whitefish by 7:30 in the morning.
Wow. And not these whitefish,
good,
right?
Good grade. That's,
Yeah.
That's
this
that's
whitefish.
that's throwing back about another 100 smaller
Wow.
fish.
Awesome.
We saw a little bit of squid, saw a little bit of game fish, but the water was 56 and a half.
And you're talking about yellows?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it looked like it.
Did they get up and boil, or you saw them on
No,
the machine?
Just in the dark.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of squid, but the sea lions were horrible.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, we had really good white fishing, some other odds and ends, shallow water fishing, plenty of reds, cabezon, lingcod, our one chucklehead. We let go plenty of chuckleheads because that's kind of why we stayed shallow, so we could let them go.
And they live. No
Yeah,
problem there.
We probably released 100 at least chuckleheads. And then we went out deep. The fishing was kind of tough deep, but we had plenty of fish in the bags. The bags were done.
Yeah. But you caught some stuff out in the deep?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. There was a lot of bait. A lot of baited out stuff like deeper water.
Anchovies stuff.
Yeah.
So, Sean, tip on how to, what was the rig? What was the best rig to fish that short water and then the deeper water?
I mean,
What should people bring if they're coming out on the Pride?
if you're fishing, if you want to fish for your shallow setup, I'd say just like 25 or 30 pound test. You could fish a double dropper loop with like an 8-ounce torpedo, 2 smaller hooks for whitefish and sheephead and things like that. And then if you wanted to fish like a slider, you could fish like a 1/2-ounce slider and a smaller hook, or a 1/2-ounce lead head. And then if we go deeper, then just standard 16-ounce, couple 2 or 3/0 hooks.
So, was it a good opener for you? Do you feel confident about this year? You guys have already been running on the Pride.
Yeah, it was a brutal February for us. It was brutal, but we had a good first trip, and I was really stoked about it. And then the weatherman Sam kind of blew us away.
Yeah, I know.
The water cooled off. It was actually looking like it was going to be good. We had really good bass fishing. There was a couple 6-packs that had some hits out there. That was probably like about a month ago now. Water was 63, kind of creeping in that 64, which is kind of that prime sea bass. There's squid there's still squid, but the water at the island now is like anywhere from 58 to 61, and the 61 being on the high end, and that's real streaky. So
Did you see much kelp?
tons of kelp.
So it's growing back.
There is an astronomical amount of kelp on the backside of Catalina. There's a lot of those beaches like Mills Landing or like Little Harbor.
Calico bass is in our future again.
Yeah, you can't even get into the beach area. There's a lot of that beach access that you really can't even get into because there's so much kelp.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's it's looking like it's going to be a good year. We just need to realize it's March.
Right, exactly.
We're in our regular pattern.
It's wintertime,
now.
right?
Yeah, we're in our regular pattern now. It's not like, oh my God, it's February and they're not catching bluefin. It's like, there's bluefin down the coast. They are catching some.
How far down? Do you know?
There's that fish was like from like Colonette to like San Catine.
120 to 140.
140, 150.
Yeah.
You can stay there till August.
There could be fish on the bank. I don't really know.
Right.
We have a 2-day trip next weekend. I'm gonna check out the terrafin charts. If we have 60-degree water out there, I might run out there the first day just to go check it out. We can always catch cod and whitefish there.
So I know people that are watching this right now. You left last night at what, 8 o'clock, 9
Yeah,
o'clock,
yep.
and here you are. It's what time? Probably after 8
o'clock,
right now.
yep.
You're leaving at 9 again. So I don't want to hold you up too long. But you said it's looking good for this season. When you say that, and we're back to our normal thing, do you think we got? Don't knock my Three Stooges thing over. What's wrong with you? Do you think we got a shot at sea bass this year?
I think we really
Like
do.
at Cat and Clemente and Santa Barbara?
I think we really do. The whole thing with cat is it's going to bite off and on, kind of every year. It bites off and on. Skip guys get them, things like that. But
Yeah.
if we get a steady water temperature in that 63 to 65 degrees by April or May, and it stays like that, and it's consistent, and there's still squid around, 100%.
Yeah.
We fished SBI on our last trip. We saw some fish. We hooked a couple mystery fish that we never saw that looked like the right kind in the kelp. And we saw fish there. There's squid there. We saw squid at San Nicolas we saw squid at San Nic in the areas where that sea bass typically gets on, and there's not an astronomical amount of squid.
Yeah.
Good sign. Good showing right there.
A little bit of squid, which is perfect.
Yeah.
I remember 5-10 years ago, it was good. You get in there, if you didn't have any bait, you'd scratch barrel a scoop and you'd catch limits.
Yeah.
That's not to say it's going to do that, but it's kind of it's lining up a little more regular, normal 58 to 62 degree water kind of everywhere. It's March. It's about right.
All right. Well, hey, I would love to keep you here for another half hour, but I know you got to get going. Look out there and tell everybody if they want to jump on the Pride. Is there a phone number? How can they do it?
Yeah. So actually, our website just finally got finished.
Yes, it did. I talked to Chad.
If you'd like to make a reservation on the Pride, or if you'd like any information about Pride Sport Fishing, pridesportfishing.com. Straightforward. Pridesportfishing.com. If you want to book with us, just get on there. You can go straight to our online booking for 22nd Street, straight from the website. Our phone numbers are on there, both 22nd Street Lane, phone number, and our phone numbers on there. I will tell you guys, we have 3 weekend days available from now until December 3rd.
Really?
So you might want to start thinking about if you want a weekend. There's about 3 left.
Wow. Good for you guys.
We're even booking
Frickin'
half
awesome.
days and 3/4 days on the days we return on day and a halves.
Oh, that's
2 and a halves.
Wow.
He's gonna have gray hair by December.
Well, at least he has hair,
So if you want to book, I highly recommend doing it. We just booked 2 more charters from our open party clientele today.
Wow.
So you might want to get on it if you want to book with us. But
do you guarantee fish?
I do not guarantee fish,
Just
but
good
I
food.
guarantee.
He's trying to start trouble.
I guarantee
A good time.
You'll
Good
get about
service.
400% of effort on all these day and a half trips.
That's all
I fished multiple islands, burned a lot of fuel, and
I guarantee it too.
put
Just-
the eyes out. Basically, like no one's gonna find it if we don't go searching.
Right.
So we've now fished every island in our reach. We have kind of a general grasp on what's going on, and if you'd like to book with us, call 22nd Street or go on our website or on 22ndstreet.com. We'll be up at the Kern Valley Sportsman Show next weekend. I won't be there.
I'll be there.
Mike will be there along with my partner Mike. I'll be there Friday. That's in the Kern Valley. It's actually building up to be more of a fishing show. They have a fishing hall now. I'll be doing a seminar on Friday, a couple of them, and then Mike, my partner, will be doing the seminars on Saturday and Sunday. I'll be here running the boat for a 2-day trip next weekend.
Excellent.
We have a 2-day trip next weekend. It's a go already. It's 585
Next weekend. Not this weekend. Next weekend.
Yeah.
Not the blown out weekend.
Yeah.
585, I think it's 15 people. 2-day trip. First day will be pretty much targeting game fish, the full day. Meals included. And day 2 will be filling the bags.
That's
So
excellent.
we're going to put 1 full day trying to catch a yellowtail or a halibut or a sea bass, and we'll catch other stuff too. But yeah.
Hey man, I know how hard you work, and your level of expertise is way up there. So I couldn't recommend the Pride. We've got 3 trips with you.
Yep.
I can't wait.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. Is there a question for before we let Sean go? Nobody asked a question?
No
Sean?
questions for Sean.
No question for Sean.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I was hoping not, so you can get on the boat and get out of here. Thanks. Good to see you.
Don't leave me hanging. Don't
All
leave me
right.
hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Come back
Sean Roberts, everybody from the Pride. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
That was nice of him to take time. I mean, the guy's beat. He's been out 24 hours.
No, he's gonna stay busy because he's up in your face. You know, that's what I like about it.
You can see what a
He's
nice guy he is.
Super aggressive, super friendly, and he'll let you in the wheelhouse just to talk his ear off, just to not even fishing related. The dude's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's great. And he, like he said, multiple islands.
Oh yeah,
They'll fish
I can't
all
imagine what
over.
his fuel bill's like.
It's got to be brutal, right?
Right now.
You know, I say that to Jeff Jessup on the Amigo all the time. He just doesn't. The fuel is just not an issue. You know, if we got to go to Cortez, we're going.
Oh yeah, no, especially with the new engines.
I'm pretty
It's
much
gonna be
everybody's
sick.
like that. Why? The new engines are going to give them better fuel?
Give them a little better everything.
yeah.
Repitch the props, and it's gonna be a fast boat.
Is it?
Yep.
But I mean, they all run at 10 knots. These guys, don't they? Or are they gonna? Is he gonna
Boat
speed it?
might not be able to find 10 knots.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it might be cruising speed 12. So
Wow, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to fish that
it's gonna be
too.
cool. Marky's freaking fired up.
That sounds like great fishing they had today.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You know, he's kicking himself in the ass too. You know, he's sitting there like, oh, I didn't catch limits. You know, but you know, he wouldn't say that, but he's just beating himself up inside. He's like, damn it, we didn't catch one extra red or one extra anything.
Yeah, I know.
Gets so hard on himself. He won't say it, but yeah, right
He-
down in the wheelhouse, going, oh man.
Is this an open party trip tonight or a
Yeah.
charter?
Yeah.
Wow, he is getting out in wintertime
We were
during the
fishing-
week.
We were fishing in February. That's what I said. That was definitely a fishing trip. That is when you go on a sea bass special trip. It is a special sea bass trip, not a sea bass special trip. Because fishing for sea bass, when they're not biting, you have to make them bite. Everything, the stars have to align. It is one of those things that you're up. When the anchor's over, you're up fishing. When he moves a little bit, you're up fishing. You take every opportunity to try to catch one of these things. You fish super aggressively. It's not just sitting and waiting. Sometimes it is, but most of the time they checked every beach twice.
Yeah,
So if you get on one of these if you want to become a diehard fisherman, go fishing on a special sea bass trip.
yeah, for sure. And you're gonna run into more times at night they don't bite.
Oh, I know.
They're they call them ghosts for a reason,
And the
right?
best way to catch a sea bass is if you see a handful in any fish count in a certain particular area, either quit your job or take the day off and get on a boat. That's how you catch sea bass. I know people that have never still been fishing for 40 years and never caught a legal
I
sea bass.
know.
It's-
I know.
But you're crazy like me. You fish all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of sea bass. But just you see fish, you see a sea bass, you want to check it off your bucket list. It happens every year, a little bit of June into July. You'll see these things go Richter. The boats are going to sell out. So you see a handful of sea bass in any fish count, book a trip. It doesn't have to be an overnight trip. It doesn't have to be a day and a half trip. We caught Benjamin's friggin' sea bass fishing with Cody. So
What boat was that on?
the
The Endeavor or the Island Spirit?
Iron Spirit, yeah.
The 3/4 day trip?
Yeah.
That was on the 3/4 day trip?
Yeah.
That's a gorgeous
We were.
fish.
It was middle of nothing going on. It's usually a lull up here, like that first part of July, and with literally no reservations. And me and half the landing went fishing on the boat. It was sick.
Yeah, speaking of Cody, once again, he had limits today. Great fishing up
Here's
there on the
about
Island
Cody.
Spirit. Also, the Pacific Dawn limits and Tucker, your buddy Tucker.
Tucker. But if you want to fish with
He had
really,
limits,
really
too.
cool guys, just like Sean, Cody's badass.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He certainly
He's a
seems like it.
wonderful dude.
You can see Cody on our YouTube channel right now.
Why don't you get him down here?
Phoned in. Yeah,
We
we
can
gotta
get
do
him and
that.
Tucker down here.
Yeah, they're gonna start getting busy. I might have to go up there and do it, but we gotta get them down.
Set up
there,
a
right?
little shop. They got a bitchin' little shop there.
Do they?
Yeah,
yeah.
great
We could
little
we
fight
could do a
down
little thing there for sure.
Yeah.
Keep that rocking. Alex, any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
540 slinger.
Jeff, keep it going, Jeff.
If the colder water, will the colder water bring more mackerel for bait?
Will the colder water bring more mackerel for
You
bait?
know, when
Good question.
I can recall, because I've been on the bait boat basically the first week I started here. With the cold water around, there was a fair amount of bait. There was more bait, though, right in that El Nino. So, let's talk about that.
Go ahead.
All that yellowtail we were catching locally,
During the
Right.
El Nino.
they followed a wave of mackerel that started off in Mexico.
Okay.
Pushed itself up way up past wherever
With
it's
the
never
warm
been
water.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it started biting again when they retreated, come back down. So they do like warm water, but there's always mackerel around since I can recall. But
Me too.
for catching it for bait purposes, you'll never have a tank of mackerel unless you guys are snagging them at the dock or at the bait barge.
Right.
And that's another thing. You always got to be a team player when you go on these boats. Regardless, don't just assume because you bought a ticket on the boat that you might not have to work a little harder for something.
You got to chip in.
If you're that guy, then I'll be more than happy to hand your money back if you get off the boat right there.
Yeah.
This is a
Team.
It's sport fishing, and with the sport, there's a team involved.
Right.
It's everybody. Everybody's got to work together at the rail, work together at the dock, be courteous, be kind to one another. Get pissed off if you lose a fish. You can scream 4-letter words all you want, and nobody cares. But you might have to help catch squid. You might have to snag some mackerel. There was a time where the bait wouldn't live past the break wall. All the boats were snagging, 30 to 200 pieces of mackerel before a trip.
I remember.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah. And there's some guys who don't, they'll sleep in and they don't snag, and then they come out and they start using all the squid, and then there's this animosity between the guys that stayed up all night.
Or the people that, sometimes there's a squid tax. The guy that you drove the boat up to that just sitting there doesn't sit there for fun to catch squid. He's making a living out there. So when the crew passes the hat around and asks for $5 to $20 for some squid, chip in. Or tell them you opt out and fish whatever bait you have. But, it's a team sport.
Right, and those guys are not. I mean, it's not like
It's
anybody's
so few and
getting
far
ripped
between.
off or anything.
No.
You're trying to
Taking
increase
all
your
that
odds.
money and giving it to that poor guy that has been up all night with the bags under his eyes. We got Todd Nelson that used to be out there on the Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
And then you got G. Paul that's out there on the Killing Marie. You got Martin McMulligan.
That's a rough lifestyle.
That's a terrible lifestyle,
Yeah.
but we love it. It's it sucks, but they make a killing doing it when it's good. So
Yeah.
it pays off. So
Absolutely.
They work their asses off.
Yeah, they do. That kind of lifestyle. I mean, they're out all night long working their tails off in rough weather. It doesn't seem to matter, does
No,
it?
not at all.
How important, I mean, that's what makes this business in Southern California, the live bait, the fact that boats have live bait. You can go to other parts of the country and the world and they don't have live bait.
Yeah, we went to Aaron's bachelor party in Florida. Our charter master, or whatever heck you want to call him for the time, the guy that had the boat, he went out with a cast net and made these little, really hardy little pompano looking thing, and you can fish them for an hour and they wouldn't die, these damn things. But he went out before the boat went out. The cast net caught what he had. He's like, yeah, they don't normally do that on the other side. So we had a live bait situation. That was badass.
Yeah. Alex.
540 cylinder size. So it's a good idea to have a sabiki ready at the bait receiver.
Jeff wants to know, should you have a sabiki at the bait receiver?
So-
Good question.
We'll tell you that before you leave the dock. That's a great question, Jeff. If it's necessary, but it's always good to have size 4 and size 6 hooks in your tackle box and a little pinch weight of some sort, because you don't necessarily need a sabiki, because it can get troublesome and tangled. But if you have one in your box, good to have a squid snagger and a sabiki. If you don't have it, we have hundreds of them because we've had to make bait before.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be good to come out with a mackerel snagger.
Excellent. You told me not to mention the A word, but it's time to mention it. Oh, no, I'm not going to say that.
Is
Albacore!
it canned? Can we go get it at the grocery store?
So, this albacore.
I've never caught one.
Really?
Ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've got so many of them.
Yeah, no, I was
And-
hearing
and
about it.
I
I think it's a
long
lie.
to
I
do
think
it
it's a
again.
lie. It's like a freaking
Yeah, snipe
like
hunting.
Bigfoot. Exactly. I love snipe hunting. I think of sticks and shit.
Yeah. Or some people think grunion hunting is like snipe hunting, but grunion really
They
exists.
really exist.
Yeah,
Yes.
like lots of them
Oh,
sometimes.
where was I? It wasn't Ketchum Tackle. Was it Ketchum Tackle? It was a. You guys got to go to the shop. I'll find out the name.
Where is
the
it?
shop? It's in it's right above Newport Landing, Davies Locker. It's right. Fuck. Somebody tell me that one before it's over. But
Alex, make sure you're
Do you
monitoring
guys
here.
know what a jackalope is? They have a bluefin, a bluefin with antlers. And this guy had my son just sold that it was the real thing. He's like,
Really?
They have antlers on bluefin sometimes? He's like, yeah. God, I wish I was better at telling stories like Tino. But man, that was incredible. Like, my son was just, I need that guy in my life at that moment. It was
It's in
great.
a tackle store near
It's hanging up
Davies
on the wall.
Locker.
Yeah, right up the hill from Davies Locker.
All right, somebody out there's got to know what that
Maybe it
tackle
was
store
Ketchum.
is.
I think it might have been Ketchum.
Really?
I think it was. I don't
Speaking
know.
of grunion, by the way, in the middle of the month, we're going to have grunion runs. I only mentioned that, not that I don't know if that, does that do anything for sport boat fishing? I don't know.
No, not necessarily.
But surf fishing, it
talking,
certainly
Talking
will.
with Walt, he's told me that he was up fishing like, right outside of Furman and stuff.
Walt
like
runs
that.
the Monte Carlo.
Like local half day.
Yeah.
Hell, I don't know. Can you catch a bucket of grunion and take it on a sport boat dead? Would it? Do you think it might
Yeah,
change?
although there's a new reg, I think you can only have 30 or 50 grunion in your possession. So a bucket full, that's a thing of the past. But there's some number.
Yeah.
Check the regs.
I've got them. It's great. These little
So
things
much
just roll up
fun.
on the beach and they're in between your toes and shit. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's so much
And you
fun.
fish and surf like I used to do back in the day. Fish one of those Lucky Crafts and you're right behind the so much fun.
Yeah, in fact, during the grunion run, Patrick and Philip came over.
Yeah.
And you got a live bait right there.
Yeah.
So you put on a bait, you toss it out there. We were catching these big, tough yellowfin croaker, and they were biting good. Bob Osborne, he was down there one
How do you
night.
fish them?
Like a kind of almost like a dropper loop when you're
loop?
fishing that. Yeah, almost like that. Or you can fish Carolina rig too. That works fine.
A light line?
Yeah. Well, no, we were fishing 25 because
Okay.
it's nighttime and
Oh yeah, there you go.
and there's so many grunion in the water that you wonder how do they end up on your bait. But the way that this guy Bob Osborne, who fishes there a lot, had this giant leopard shark one night, he said that he imagines. This is his mind, how it works. He imagines the yellowfin croaker or halibut or whatever swims in and the fish go like this.
And you got that one just sitting
And
there.
there's your dumb bait sitting there and he sucks it up. And man, I mean, I watched Patrick and he was into some tussles this night. We had a couple newbies out there. Maria and her sister Pilar were there. And Maria interviewed me on a Spanish speaking radio show about my teaching in China. So we got to be really good friends, and the whole spectacle of nature, the whole thing, but they were like freaked out at catching these things. So that whole thing starts in March. Maybe I don't think it does anything for the sport boat, but it's an indication that spring is in the air, or more appropriately in the water, right?
Roger. You know what they're doing on the beach. It's nasty.
Yes. Alex. Anybody else there, Alex?
Cover your ears.
Steven Enners.
Steven.
He asked if that is that a dried up mako head.
Yes, those are two dried up mako shark heads. They are definitely dried up, Steven.
That's little Phil and Patrick.
Yeah, this is Patrick, and this is my son Philip.
Little big Phil.
So the story behind these things is that I was in Rosarito Beach, and there's a couple of twins that work in one of the local markets that sell clothing and all that stuff. And it's Karina and I don't know what her sister's name is, but one of them, they're both studying to be dentists, but their father's been in this business. So I said, hey, Karina, ¿tienes algo de la pesca? Yeah, I have anything to do with fishing. And she showed me these two sharks, and I said, I gotta have those. I want those. So I bought those two shark heads, and don't regret that one bit at all. Thank you, Mike.
Screwing it all up.
Alex, another question? I think we're winding down, Mike. I don't know what time it is. What time is
Talking
it?
it up. It's barely 8:30. Let's keep it rolling.
We can keep going here a little bit
just
longer,
touch on things real quick.
Please.
Private charters, call me. My name's Mike Morrison. I'll give you my cell phone number if you want. It is my cell phone number. I generally pick it up.
Are you going to give it right now?
No.
I don't blame you.
No. You guys call me for any questions. Call the office for any questions. DM us on our Facebook or Instagram, 22nd Street Landing. Anything you guys want to know, we'll answer questions. There is no stupid question in sport fishing.
Alex might have one.
I've seen some of the stuff, but he's explained it to himself.
Oh, okay,
he
good.
understands. He gets it. Any questions whatsoever? Those bluefin questions are a real thing. There's a lot of people that haven't caught a bluefin. Best bluefin fishing we've ever seen. Some people haven't caught a sea bass. Call us. We'll point you in the right direction. How to catch it, when to catch it. Bring in a rod prior to a trip. We'll tell you if it's going to work. We're not going to talk crap about your stuff.
You're not going to try to sell them something they don't
We're not going
need.
to try to sell you something you don't need. There's half the time I talk to people. I own the landing now, a piece of the landing now. There's times where I'll take money out of my own pocket to not to make sure the person is, I'm not going to sell them a 60 wide reel. It's just not necessary right now. There's certain things that I'm not going to upsell. We're not going to upsell you. Come down, check out the boats. I have not picked a day. I did get permission from John Woodrum and Gus and Aaron and Jeff that we're going to do a little day at the landing again.
Oh, cool.
Should-
When's that going to happen?
Should be in April. I haven't picked a day yet. It's not going to take much preparation. We're just going to bang this thing out.
April.
April.
Well, you got to give me a couple weeks notice so I can get my
It's
jalapenos
March
purchased and everything else.
First, we got time. I only need about 3 weeks to really make this thing happen.
Yeah.
Looking to do a tackle swap meet and also vendors of all sizes. You guys know all
Yeah.
the people who we support. Support my guys at Vico, Fishing Fame, things like that. The Haggard Pirate guys are awesome. The guys at Fishworks are awesome. Looking to bring in more manufacturers to the landing. We're expanding a lot here. But call us for anything. Check the website. It's current. If you see a boo-boo on there, it's because I did it. So if you see a typo, call me. Send me a DM. Call me a funny name. I'll fix it. The
I'm
fishing-
excited about April now. This is going to be fun. I love
gonna be
that.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Will all the boats be there? I hope to have all the boats there. I'm hoping for bad weather that weekend.
Yeah, right.
I'm hoping that weekend they didn't
It's
catch
gonna be like
yellowtail
this
on
weekend.
the Saturday. Exactly.
Yeah.
This would have been a perfect opportunity. Will I have all the boats here? I hope so.
But
They'll all
if
be ready to go.
the weather's good and the
The
fishing's
weather's
great.
good and the fishing's good. I'll have some of the boats here, but it's not always about the boats. But it was nice to have people to come talk to Gus, talk to John, talk to Albert, talk to Walt, talk to your favorite captains that you don't actually get, to shoot the shit with. Am I going to have it as big as a day at Docks in San Diego? God, no. They do.
Not this first year.
They do. I've done it. We got bigger on the second year.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to be as great as them. That's the big leagues down there. They have a huge budget. But we have a lot of local people. We have a lot of vendors that aren't doing the Fred Hall this year because they canceled on them. We're gonna do. There's a lot of inventory that people have that we're gonna help you guys purchase that stuff. But call us for anything. If I don't get to you, talk to Phil. Phil can get to me. He generally knows what's going on here. Check our prices. Like I said, we're gonna hold our drag our feet to keep the prices where they're at, keep our loads where they're at, and keep doing what we're doing.
Is it possible that, like, for example, I have charters.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that there's going to be a fuel surcharge on that?
It could happen.
Where I pass it on. I'm going to have to say to my guys,
It
hey,
could
I'm
happen.
sorry.
It's not going to be a surprise by any means. We're going to call you guys if something like that. It's out of our control.
And pretty much, I mean, all you got to do is watch current events to see what's going
Correct.
on.
It's creeping up. If you live in LA, you know what's going on.
Diesel for the boats now is over $4,
It's over
right?
$4. It's been a long time since that's happened. When I first started here, it was around $4 or $5.
Yeah.
Things changed and it got better. But let us know what you need, what you want to see. Let this guy know what you want to see on here. We won't fire Alex unless you tell us to. He's got a
We might.
what?
Fred Dempsey says that it's a great show, and he wanted to ask if he needed to bring a descending device.
Hold on 1 second. Can I say something before you answer that question?
110%.
Anybody like Fred Dempsey who says it's a great show, he knows how to get right to my heart. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate it. Descending device. Good
Descending
question.
device is not necessary. We have multiple ones thanks to Ken Frankie in the SAC office. We have them. We use them. We're not catching a whole lot of stuff that needs to be descended.
What is a descending device?
Descending device
in case somebody out
is-
there doesn't know.
Is like that claw that you see at the claw game thing, but not. Pinches around the lips of the rockfish. The rockfish, they go and they have this thing called barotrauma, right?
Yeah.
Where their comes out of their mouth, and we send them back down. Once they get like 60 feet down, it sucks back in. Fish lives.
Their
It's
eyes go back to
it's
normal,
proven
everything.
It's proven it works.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to have. We're not really fishing the cowcods areas. We're not catching much of the stuff that needs to be descended. It's March 1st, so if it lands on the boat, it's going in someone's belly. So we're catching a lot of that stuff. Example: Sean threw 100 whitefish back today. Didn't need descending devices.
Yeah, because
if
they're in that short water.
If they did, they would have descended it. So yeah, no, it's not necessary to bring a descending device. We have multiple ones that on all the boats. We're required to have them on there. So no, you do not need a descending device.
Excellent. Do you like those claw machines? Do you ever go and play those with your
I
kids?
just took my kids to Dave and Buster's.
Oh, I love those freaking
love
things. I mean, here I don't, but you know where I did it a lot? In China.
Oh, they have arcades up the wazoo.
Because I had, Cindy was this one of my co-teacher's daughters, and she was probably 9 when I met her, and so there would be times, it was hilarious. I'd be walking in mainland China with a 9-year-old Chinese girl, and people are like, what? Like, who are you?
What's the weird white guy doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, when we went by, there was a place where I'd go get a massage. Now calm down, everybody.
Now you're getting weird.
No, it was all legit. It was an hour and a half, $20. It It was the most professional, great massage. And at the end, I know what you're thinking. At the end, she say, "Oh, and what would you like for dinner? And
No shit.
would you like to sleep here for a couple hours? I'll
Wow.
put a movie on for you, $20." So we went walking by there, and those girls won't take a tip. In China, there's no tipping.
Really?
They'll give you no, it's my honor to do this, and blah, blah, blah. So I started, like, when I'd walk by, I'd go to the bakery next door, and I'd buy 20 whatever, and then I'd go and give it to the girl in front or the
That's
guy,
cool.
and then they pass it out. So we're walking by, Cindy and I, and they're like, they want to talk to her, and like, how do you know him? And she goes,
Yeah.
oh, he's my teacher. And Cindy goes, they like you very much.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was nice. But Cindy and I went and played those claw
We should
things.
make an arcade in here.
We should.
Cool.
You and I'd be on it all the
No,
time.
we just make a bunch of money.
Yeah, we should. Hey, the A word. I didn't finish my thought on
Don't
that.
care.
I'm gonna mention it. So I've already put out my forecast album. It's amazing how some people
I
like.
want them to come.
Well, I mean, some people are like, hey, thanks for that, and then there's a certain segment that are like, oh, here he goes again. What an a-hole. He's gonna, and it's like, wait a second, here he goes again. I mean, don't they every year like
You'll be right one day.
try to guess who's gonna win the Super Bowl? And
Yeah.
it goes every year. They do that every day.
Mark
Somebody's
Paisano's been talking about him. Little Paisano's been talking about him. It could happen. It could happen.
yeah.
One of the guys that works with Padals, that's what he does for a living.
Fish Albie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks the same as it did last year, which nothing happened last year. We did get one on the new Luan, and I thought that was going to bust the
I thought
dam
you were gonna
open.
nail it too,
Me
and I'm
too.
Like, nope, that thing thought it was a bluefin.
So it's like you say, they're talking La Nina, and not all, but most of the forecasts and the models are suggesting it's going to stay cold. If it does, I think we got a shot. But it goes sideways in May, so April, May. So I'm going to hang on and make another prediction at that time. And then maybe I'll get in my underwear and jump off the boat with you. What are you jumping in the water for? If there's not...
Something over 350.
Oh, bluefin over 350. Yeah, remember that now.
Out of
Alex.
22nd Street, by the way. That's all I'm getting at here. Doesn't have to be anywhere else, like in San Diego or something like
Well, wait a minute now.
that. One of our boats is going to catch something over 350.
That's the prediction.
That's my prediction.
Not that some boat somewhere in Southern California is
No,
going
I'm
to catch
sticking
one.
it right here.
So if a
My
boat
mouth
in San
is.
Diego catches a 360, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
It has to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
It's going to
that.
happen.
You're going in the water.
No, it's totally going to happen.
When
You should see these mooses that no one's catching. Dude.
when is this bet over?
End of the year.
Okay, so January 31st, maybe New Year's Day, you jump in.
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect. When the water's nice and cold.
Totally down. I've been in there a lot of times.
All right, so you'll shoot the slow mo, and I'll shoot the regular, right, Alex?
Yeah.
Any other questions, sir?
Nope.
Okay. Anything else you want to cover with anybody, Mike? Like,
Charter books are open. Like Sean said, he's filling up. The Amigo's filling up. The True Line's filling up. We're going to put up multiple day schedules early, probably next week for the Freedom. Probably have about 2 days that are going to be in advance. And the Monte Carlo's going to be doing their thing. We're going to try to add more Twilights. All that information I post daily, nightly, weekly, multiple times a day. I get on my Instagram, 22ndstreet.com. All of our boats have an Instagram, which I manage, and some of the other boat owners do. And everything, current events, check sportfishreport.com, 976 Tuna, our website, you name it, everything under the sun, Friedman Adventures. It's just a lot of information coming out of this place. Prices will be as updated. You'll know beforehand if there's any kind of weird charges that are going on here. And
Like the fuel charge thing?
correct. And
Yeah.
and I predict, like I said, it's going to be good fishing this year, but it's going to be earned. So you might want to bring a lighter outfit with you this year, especially when that kelp's coming back, like Sean said. Don't be afraid to bring 12 or 15 pound or a little bait caster. That's not your go-to for everything. Remember that. Bring something that's a 25 size too.
Yeah, but when things get tough, man, especially when you're fishing chovy, that light line will...
You're gonna earn it. You're gonna be either sitting there watching, or you're gonna beg one of the crew members to cast your bait out. So
Opsin fluorocarbon, or any fluorocarbon, I mentioned Opsin because they're our
any
sponsor.
fluorocarbon, and he says he has enough inventory to bring into the shop, so you'll probably see that stuff here, that Opsin fluorocarbon.
Oh, you're going to sell it here? Maybe?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
talk to me at the show.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Greg's a
I
great
love
guy.
that thing. It goes clicks together.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
Badass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keeps all your fluoro together, huh?
exactly. You
Smart
don't have
move.
little Plano boxes anymore.
Exactly.
So-
Anything else? No? All right, so... Oh, there's something up there, right? What is that?
Twilight.
Don't stick your face in there. Look on the computer.
Oh, 540 Slinger says, is the twilight still going to be sand bass and sculpin?
Always. We don't just go other landings. They'll just go out and target sculpin. It's not a bad idea because people are taking fish home, but our twilight's aggressive. We're fishing different spots. It's going to be sand bass and sculpin. We're not just going to camp out and wipe out a sculpin population like some other landings. Nothing wrong with that, but we like to be aggressive here. So we're fishing leadhead and squid, dropper loop and squid, sliders and squid. And yeah, we're going to be targeting sand bass all year long. We got one going Friday and Saturday, weather depending. And it's always going to be Friday and Saturday as long as the Monty or the native's ready to go.
And what boat runs the open party trip?
Monte Carlo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But the native's been going, right?
They have Monty just got finished. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Very good. Very good. And we'll talk about the length of that trip. When does it leave? When does it come back?
6:30 to midnight. So it's cool. Sometimes when I'm running the boat, you don't get home till the sun comes up. But
No, get out of
Nobody
here.
really
Do you
cares.
fish that late?
I've been in as early as or late as 3 in the morning.
Oh, my God. I bet your crew wants to kill you.
No, we're fishing. They cook sometimes because if he has to cook in the morning.
You know, back in the day, when we fished twilight, that was 6 o'clock and back in at 10.
Yeah,
And that was late.
different
And
fishing
then it just like a guy named John Dipley who ran out of here. Oh my God, I can remember like nothing biting, and Dipley's like, "We're gonna, I got fish on the meter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang."
Sometimes
and then
they bite after 11.
1 o'clock in the morning, we got bit,
Yeah.
and I go, "Oh, I
I've
get
done
why
it.
you did that."
I've been told to do that by all the other previous captains. Oh, it might get better after 11. Just hang out. No, it didn't. But we just fish another spot and catch 3 or 4 or 5 more.
I think people appreciate the effort myself.
Oh no, we put a lot of effort into this stuff. So you'll see it if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it. But now we're on to the Patreon.
Oh, we are. Yes, it's time to do our drawing. Alex has the computer over there. Alex, are you ready to do the first drawing? Because we're going to do 2 tonight.
Can I push the button?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, ready?
But you need to. Perfect.
Ready?
Go.
Go.
All right. You're looking at it, so let me know when you hit it. And
No cheating this time.
Yeah, no cheating. Don't give it to your girlfriend or anything. You got a winner?
Yeah.
Who is it?
The winner is Jamie Argenson.
Jamie Argent, I think, right? Yeah, Jamie Argent. That's one winner. We have another comment up there. Do you want to read the comment first or spin again?
Is Uncle Brian decking the Monte tomorrow?
Yes, he is.
Who asked that question?
540. Chuck McDonald.
Yes.
Chuck.
Brian's working tomorrow.
Chuck, will you do me a favor? When you see Brian, will you throw your arms around him?
Kiss him on the lips.
Well, you don't have to do that, but just throw your arms around him and tell
Get him
him
once in a
I
while.
really love him, okay? Just to do that for me, Chuck. All right, next one, go.
You push it.
All right.
He's pushing it?
Yeah.
All right, round and round she goes, I'm guessing. Do we have a winner yet?
Yeah.
Who is it?
The next winner is Rocket Dog.
Rocket Dog!
Rocket Dog!
I don't even know who that is, but you guys are going to get a tackle pack, and there's some Pride t-shirts here that we'll be
Sick.
sending out, so we've got some beautiful Pride t-shirts. I just saw another comment come in. I know Alex has got to get home to do homework, or someone's going to kill him, but he's trying to end this show early. But we're not going to let it happen.
540 said I need to get the club out on a twilight soon.
They'll dig it.
He
I need
needs to come out on the
I
twilight?
need to come out and cast some jigs with you guys. I know you guys got that going on.
Hey, Jeff, when is your next club meeting? Because I couldn't make the last one. I think I was working. I worked till late the night before, so once in a while I'm serving beer at Orange County Fair. So there's another comment up there, Alex. Do your job. Alex?
Dave says I'm bringing pizza for y'all on Friday.
Boom!
Nice.
Dave is bringing pizza. I'm not here Friday, Dave. Can you bring me a pizza tonight? Send one over to the landing. Just kidding. That's all. But who's
Love
Dave?
pizza.
Do you know Dave?
Yeah, Dave Contreras.
Dave, nice job, man. We
He's the guy-
appreciate that. Go ahead, Alex. Another comment.
540 Slayer says thanks for all the info tonight, Phil and Mike.
Thank you, and thank you for always supporting us.
Jeff, you're number one.
You're
Thank
pretty-
you so
you're
much.
pretty cool.
Mike, it's always a pleasure. And once again, this podcast would never, ever have started without you.
Without you, I'm nothing.
Yes, that's true.
Remember that.
That's me saying that to you.
I tell the customers that all the time. Without you guys, I promise you, I mean it from my heart. Without you guys, we just have cool boats.
That's right. We have another comment, Alex. So I know Alex is trying to push the end
Thanks,
of the.
Steve.
Steve says been sending customers from our shop to give Twilight a go.
Thank you.
Steve is sending Twilight. Or
Yeah,
customers?
Steve always goes.
Where's his shop?
What is your shop, Steve?
Steve, come on, we'll give you a plug. Is
Yeah,
it
we'll plug you.
Steve Har?
It's here. Steve.
Yeah, Steve Hare.
What shop you work
Steve, where are you at? Yeah, come on, let's give you a plug here.
And I visited a lot of shops with Marky a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
There's some badass tackle shops in this town.
Oh, really? In,
Oh, yeah.
in San Pedro, or
No, just in general. We went all the way to Orange County and back.
Oh, really?
We're gonna make the other half as soon as
What are you doing? Taking brochures out?
Yeah,
and
just
everything?
meet and greet, just hanging out. A lot of really cool shops.
Excellent. Steve, did he get back?
No,
No,
looking up
it's coming from 547. He said the next meeting is March 13th at Long Beach Marine Stadium.
March 13th.
That's for his next meeting. They go down there. I want to go.
Are you gonna go?
Fire some irons with them.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
That'd be fun.
March 13th.
BNF in Ontario. What's BNF in Ontario?
That's
what's
Steve's
the name
place.
of the talk? Is it BNF?
Yeah, I guess. Is that what he put?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. BNF in Ontario.
Thank you, Steve.
Visit Steve over there at BNF in
He's
Ontario.
been a long time Instagram, Facebook supporter of ours.
Yeah, same with me. He's always putting nice comments up, and we deeply appreciate that. Is that it?
And we don't mean it. Like we really do from our hearts. Thank you for tuning into us.
Yeah, 100%. We really, really do.
Us.
Us.
This is terrible.
And I do want to tell you all one more time to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to our channel. Steve, everybody who walks in that shop, you tell them that they get a 25% discount if they subscribe to our channel. It may result in some lost revenue for you, but we'll get a subscription. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Charters, we've got a ton of them. Make sure you check that out on Facebook. Friedman Adventures, Patreon members. That all of you have a chance to win. And once again, I want to thank 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. I see another comment. Daiwa, Rods and Reels, Opson, Fluorocarbon, Fish Taco Chronicle Magazine, the Malahini, and Ventura Sport Fishing. Don't forget, here on this channel, you can check out Cody's report from the Island Spirit today. Mike says Cody's an awesome guy. Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. Alex, one final comment or not?
Oh, Steve Harris says
Maybe two.
It's the same. BNF Rod and Reel.
BNF Rod and Reel.
And I do mean what I say. Go fishing, whether it's here or any other landing or any grunion run or any bucket that claims there's stocked fish in there. Go fishing. Take your kids fishing. And we got a lot of kids fishing trips this year. I talked to Howard with Friends of Rollo. So pumped. And they're talking about the LA Rod and Reel Club doing the kids thing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
Boom.
Hey, the State of the Union was tonight, but this was the state of the
should have
fish.
started that before that crap we were watching earlier.
I had that on here.
Way
Hey.
more entertaining.
The state of the fish, how would you describe it? I say the state of the fish is strong. What do you say?
I feel like we need equal to or more support for our fishing community than that shit we were watching earlier. That's my political.
The political. You sound like you.
It's all lies. I can produce this. You go fishing enough, you're gonna catch a fish.
Right.
It's that easy.
What about the
All this other
politician?
shit, it's just shit.
Maybe we should get into this a little bit before we.
No, it doesn't matter because I'm not political. I just know shit.
But you do know that politicians, for the
ahead.
most part,
Tell me a
are
joke.
self-interested. No, I was going to say, I mean, there's no real mystery here. They're self-interested.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to realize that going into the game, right?
Yeah. 100%.
We here are not self-interested.
I'm not self-interested at all. I do have some financial gain here, but I need you.
Right. So, and the way you get them to come back is by treating them like human beings.
Like human beings.
Yeah.
Be nice to one another. Catch a lot of fish.
Mike, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here, and it was great to have Sean come in.
That was cool.
22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro. Alex is going to walk around, and he's going to end our live. Oh, wait, one more comment here
Everybody just
before we
saying
run
thanks.
off.
Everybody
547 says right on, Mike.
All right, beautiful. Jeff, take good care of yourself, my friend. Alex, thank you for all your hard work tonight.
Hell yeah, Alex.
I made a few little jokes about you, but for the most
He's
part,
getting
you did a
taller than
great
us,
job.
though.
Yeah,
We gotta be careful.
yeah. Are you a pitcher or what position do you play in baseball?
Pitching and outfield.
Water
All right.
away.
Why don't you come out here, say goodnight to everybody, and then shut this
And then
thing
click
off
the thing.
as we say goodbye.
Good night.
All right, Alex.
Bye.
Get the X.
And